And here you are, 100 years later. You own the land legally. The State of Israel is an established institute. And at the same time, the people working these very lands are suffering from the same problem.
I told myself, we are not creating something new. No, actually, there is nothing new under the sun.
We're in northern Israel, and we're about to meet with Yoel Zilberman. Yoel is the co-founder of HaShomer HaChadash. They're helping to safeguard and protect the lands of this country. In fact, you could even say that they're some of the people at the forefront of maintaining and preserving this land of Israel. So let's start from the beginning. Why did you start HaShomer HaChadash?
Actually, I grew up not far away from here, and I grew up as a shepherd. And we have a ranch, we have cows and sheep. And criminals from the village nearby, a Bedouin family, they tried to take over my father's fields, cutting all the fences that keeping the cows. They burned my father's fields like arsons every night. After sitting with the police officer of the whole region that told my father, listen, I suggest you give them some part of your land or give them some protection money. I can't help you.
But just to point out what you're saying, this was such a widespread issue up here. It's not only can we not help this specific case, we're not even trying to help this general problem.
When it just started, we're sitting together on the Shabbat table, and he told the family, listen, it's better to have a shoe store in the mall than to fight for our land every day. I'm all alone.
Who's saying this, your father?
My father. My brother and I, we both was in the service in the army. And I told my father, listen, over my dead body, it's not going to happen. And I went back to my unit, and one of my officers gave me a very big Israeli flag. And the next Friday, I built a small tent, long stick with the flag, 40 books, 2 beds, and I moved to live on this hill. After a month and a half that I lived on this hill, more than 40 people came and became my small community that surround me and told me that we are going to protect your father. So after 4 months, more than 100 farmers from all over the state of Israel, from the south, from the north, from all over came. They was telling me that they actually, many of them already abandoned big amounts of their land because of agri-terrorism. Actually, agri-terrorism, people that burning their fields, people that trying to take over their fields. You need to imagine, Israel, it's a very small country. We are very strong in the borders, but inside our country, we lost control. We established the organization in the 12th of April, 2007. In 1909, in the 12th of April, the same day, there was establishment of organization that's called HaShomer, 98 years before.
HaShomer, or the Watchman in English, was an organization founded to protect Jewish people settling in Palestine. It was soon disbanded and replaced with a more formal paramilitary organization. But in 2007, Yoel saw the need to revive it, and he founded HaShomer HaChadash, the new Watchman.
These people came first time from Europe. It was the first time that they walked the land and also protected themselves since 2,000 years before.
So the early settlers, the Jewish people, come back to the land, and in the late 19th century, they start buying back lands in the land of Israel. And even though they were the legal owners of much of these lands, the people working the fields were attacked by the Arabs living in the neighborhood and others. And here you are, 100 years later, you own the land legally, the State of Israel is an established institute, and at the same time, the people working these very lands are suffering from the same problem.
I told myself, we are not creating something new. No, actually, there is nothing new under the sun.
So I wanted you to describe what we're going to see in just a bit. Maybe give us an idea of what you're doing.
Okay, great. So first of all, you're going to meet now our special missions groups taking care to the forests in Israel. Every day, all over the Galilee, the Negev, cleaning, digging, planting, keeping from fires. And after that, in the night, you're going to meet our volunteers that do the night patrols. You will see the deep connection between being in the day with the farmer and making sure that in the night his farm will be safe.
So, Benaya, tell me what these people are doing.
So, we're part of a program called the Forest Keepers. We help preserve forests all around the country. We plant new trees, we take care of them.
We have 12 teams that are working all over Israel, from Eilat till Golan Heights.
I think throughout the last few years, there's been awakening throughout the youth, understanding that we're kind of losing grasp over all the work. People feel like they need to get more involved. This is not something that usually young people would work in this kind of work. It's very physical, it's very difficult, it's exhausting, but they feel like it's a call. It's a calling for them.
Yadid, do you want to tell us why you came to this project to be part of it?
because I wanted to be part of something big, because of the sense of mission, and I really like the work outdoors. You know, you can't feel your shoulders or your back, but you sit on your beach chair, and you feel so satisfied that I can't explain it. And this feeling makes me feel that what I do is really important to me, to the forest, to the country.
Restoring the connection to the land has always been a big part of this story. God, in fact, promises us that the Jewish people will return to the land. But He never said it would be easy. Coming back to this land, reclaiming the land, turning it green and beautiful and abundant the way it is today was never something that came without hardship and challenges. But for the people of Israel, we have always been up to that challenge.
Thank you for joining us as we provide a spiritual insight of what God is doing in Israel and in the Middle East. If you want to learn more about what God is doing in Israel, make sure to visit us on our webpage and follow us on social media. Shalom, and God bless you from Jerusalem.